And we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of The Card Show. In this week's episode, I'm going to be talking to you about grading. I want to say detour from what I was going to talk about, but as of recording this, London Card Show is just on its first 3 days. If you didn't go, and you're on socials, so you would have seen a lot of footage. I did. One of the first shows I've had proper FOMO for. Is it FOMO? I don't know. Maybe it wasn't FOMO. But yeah, the show definitely. I sort of felt like it would have been cool to knit down. You know, even for a couple of days. But to do a 3 day, it's something I've talked about for a long time. Doing 3 days at a show. It's finally happened. 3 days of trade night. What a weekend that would have been. I hope the haircon was on. That's all I can say. I hope the haircon was on because it's been a very nice summer. I don't think even plus side. I think it had been miserable in Manchester. I would have missed it a lot more, but because it was such nice weather up here, I've had a very good time myself. So didn't overly feel like I was like, oh, I should have been there. It's going to be interesting now to see all the posts and sort of stories, reels, etc. of everyone with little hobbyist hats. It's all teams last 48, 72 hours, whatever it is. But yeah, it's the one for another day. I want to talk about grading because just over a month ago, AGS grading came to the UK. I have just gone through my first submission. I will be sending it off tomorrow, hopefully. Like get my lazy ass around there, sort that out. But it just led me onto a whole thing of UK grading, and I thought I'd do a pod about it. So obviously in the UK, we've probably said MGC has probably been, I think, ahead of the game. As, I think they've pushed a lot of stuff, social media wise, or just in the fact that they've been every show for so long. Supporting, etc. They did on-site grading at CardCon, I think twice now. They've always continued to push that boundary. They've opened up hubs around Europe. I'm sure one elsewhere as well. I think maybe just because Europe. I think they've won UK card grader twice now. At the UK Card Awards, UK Ireland Card Awards. So it shows they have a very good community. They have quite a good business model. They have a membership. You can grade 5 cards a month, and obviously it's quite good turnarounds. 3 different structures of gold, silver, bronze, no upcharges, etc. And then last year, I think the fact that Randolph or PokeRand has been sort of a lot more shows, a lot more visible, and his poor influence now him having his part in Ace is obviously made those stocks rise. That puts Ace sort of up there quite highly. They've been very big on the Pokemon and TCG side of things. In the last few months, they've started to do sports, which I kind of like that tactic. They didn't come in sort of all guns blazing from the get go and sort of do too much. They sort of build it, make sure you got the right people in who had the knowledge of sports and sports cards. Obviously, they had a bit of an issue with a break-in, and it set them back quite a bit. Not only financially, but also reputation-wise. But they're back on the sort of up and up. We then have now AGS, which stands for, honestly, automated. I do know what it says. 1 second. It is Automated Grading System. So to have them in the UK is a positive sign in some respects. I hope it's not. When I say in some respects, then that a company is sort of at the forefront, I'd say, because it's obviously very AI based. I think it was called a robo grading beforehand, or it's like AGS by robo grading. It's like a weird, like an old name they won't get rid of, so it's just lingers around. But this is their whole ethos, right? They this way, it's always going to be consistent. You can run that card through the AGS system 100 times, and it'll be the same score 100 times over. Whereas if you submit a card PSA 100 times, you're probably going to get what four different three. I'll say three different scores. Probably over them times. So it's like 33 and a third percent, right? Sometimes it comes in 8, 9, or a 10. Very usually. Sometimes it's been lower, but I say consistently they're the top three grades you're going to get for a card. Obviously, it's not like a Becky or a SGC where there's 0.5s in there. AGS do 0.5 scores as well, from what I've seen. I've not looked in depth too much if it's like a 1.5, 2.5, but I've seen 9.5s as well. And I think I've seen 8.5s. So that's obviously something that's we've talked about on the pod before. If people really wanted a true sort of representation of how good the quality of their card is, then surely this is where we should go. We should go to an AI grading system where if we grade our card and it comes back a AGS 10, we know that is the most pristine card going. Whereas if we get a PSA 10, would they always come back an AGS 10? Would AI, the computers, the screens, the scanning system always put them through as a 10 over the human eye? So probably not. So it should mean that getting a graded card from AI should be the highest form. I'm excited that they said they're here. So I've done a submission, only a small one. They were obviously doing free grades, so you just paid for any add-ons you wanted. They do quite a lot of add-ons, whether that's cleaning of the card, the infrared scans, subgrades, or grading notes, one of the two. Can't remember which one that was. Penny sleeves. Was it penny sleeves? Oh, sleeves. Sorry for the slab afterwards. Which is like 25 pence, and that sort of stuff. And his insurance, obviously, on the card. I think all in it was like £7. I ended up paying. There's a little video on that. I'll probably do that. Before probably before I get a card back and do it when it comes back. Bit of a reveal. But yeah, I'm very intrigued. They have got an app as well, where you can sort of pre-grade taking screenshots. I've not really tried it, but it's something I'll get into. But it's going to be interesting to see how this does. I mean, they obviously, with them being around just so they've opened at the end of March, I think it was. So yes, they've been in the country beforehand. They knew the plan, and they didn't try by things to get a table at London, which is interesting. If you're sitting up in London, you've got one of the biggest shows in the world on your doorstep. You should try and get in there. Just some tables, take submissions, get your name out there a little bit. Whether there'll be at future shows, we'll never know. I think they should do. I think it's a good way of getting the brand out. I don't know how easy it would be for them to have equipment at shows to do on-site grading, but as we see with NBC, if you've got a will, you've got the way. There's a way to get there, right? So, I'm sure if they really wanted to, they could sort something out. I mean, that would be very good. Having AI graded cards to be, turn around on the day at a card show. Just saying. I mean, especially if even if you really didn't value the AGS brand, you could pay the £15 to get it graded. If it comes back at 10, you should be, fairly confident you've just bought a decent raw card. Then send it to PSA, knowing you should get a good high score. And then if it doesn't, guess what? Crack it, send it back to AGS, and you're going to get a 10 again. Apart from any handling damage from PSA and yourself in the meantime. But I'm excited. I'm excited for this. I've sent my submission off tomorrow. So as you're listening to this, it would have already sent off. But yeah, I did the form. It was quite easy form to do. A few little steps. And yeah, I'm intrigued to see. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? So this is sort of another grading company. Don't I think the other grading companies get graded SS Saint, something like SS Saint. There's other grading companies, but I don't sort of see them or value them as challenging at the top. Obviously, I think the top three they just named, MGC, Ace, and now AGS. And the reason I say AGS is like superseded them two is because obviously it's already got sort of established in America. If you go on eBay and check sales, it has very strong sales from a good range of sports as well as TCG and Pokemon, which I'd say probably more so the Pokemon TCG side, but it still has strong sales for sports cards. If you look on, there's quite a few sports cards graded with AGS and go for decent money. So there is obviously respect in America, sort of USA side for that sort of cards. So I think that carries a little bit of weight. If you know that you can go on and see that there's already a market there, it's a little bit more faith. If you try and sell a get graded card, you got to be looking, on eBay UK only probably. Can't see there being many sell in US. Comps would be a bit lower. Same with that SSD. I've seen it a few times. Can't remember what it's called. But yeah, I do think this is interesting. For me, it should be the challenger. It should be the number one. It should be one that's up there because of the fact that it's going to tell you card is the sort of the best card condition it can be in. But like I said, the sort of the public pull, the fan base that Randolph has helps Ace grading. So that's always going to keep them up in the mix. MGC again, because of the deep sort of how deep rooted they are in the sort of the UK sort of scene. I mean, I remember when London sort of kicked them out, but due to a deal with PSA, they didn't want to allow other grading companies. So the decision made to allow PSA to come, not MGC, and then that sort of caused a bit of anguish in the hobby, and then they allowed MGC to come back. It was weird from PSA because also, as we know, they're American shows, you can have numerous grading companies, especially at the bigger shows. I know a lot of them will do sort of on-site grading or sort of on-site grading reviews. So yeah, it was a very strange one. But again, they're trying to dominate. They probably think they're the first onto this new soil. They discover something new. Oh, UK is popping. Let's get over there and let's make sure that this show knows that we're there. It's only us sort of thing. So if the Beckett's, obviously at the time, I don't think the deal with SGC was done. So SGC, CGC, etc. Obviously, CGC do have a like a. Did they have an office? They have something over in London or down south. I do remember Spuds because you Kay telling me he sent some stuff over. So which I didn't know until he told me. They have like an office over here. I think they do grading here. I'll look into that and get more facts. I forgot about that. I do like CGC. I do have a slab. It's not there. It will be in the. Yeah, it'll be in the briefcase. It used to be up there. Where's it gone now? Yeah, it used to be up there, but I took it down. Obviously, you can't see where there is because of the green screen, but yeah, behind me. But yeah, I'm very intrigued with this. So I'm gonna let you know how this. Again, the card agreed. Don't get me wrong. It was a nothing card. It was just because it was free. It was running out. I think it was literally the last date was the offer was running out. I have seen it. As of recording this, they've just put out a new post. We just get that up, and I think they're doing something similar, but not as good. So yeah, here we go. So submit 5 cards, get 2 for free. The code there is AGS card 2, which again it's a nice way of getting into the hobby, right? 2 free graded cards. For 3, I think again, lots of checks. I'm sure it's like £15 for the cards. It might even be a bit less. It might be a bit more. Let's have a double check. Let's double check for you guys. Change this. Get this. So Yeah, so for 1 to 29 cards, it's £15. For 29 plus, it's £13.50. And you reckon it's going to be 10 business day turnaround as well, which is good. But yeah, again, the Instagram is AGS Grading UK, and then obviously the US one is just AGS Grading. So check them out, see what you think. Maybe give them a little whirl, and let me know. Yeah, let me know your grades and your thoughts. But yeah, I'm very intrigued to see this, how it happens, and how it pans out now for the rest of 2025 and 2026. Don't forget, beginning of 2026 in the first London show. Is it the first London? It won't be the first London show. My bad. The April show. April on the card show is XL. And there's already, I think this is us recording this, so it's too late for you guys. The last day of the early bird sale. So you probably missed out if you can get tickets for a bit cheaper. So yeah, if I was this company, I would be trying to secure a spot, see if there's availability to do it and get sort of on-site grading done. And if not on-site grading, I think it's going to be a 3-day again up at XL. So if you can't do, on-the-spot grading, could you do could you have it in a position where you're taking the cards on the Friday, for instance, taking about that night, trying to grade, get them graded, encapsulated, and then boom, back in for Saturday or Sunday. But that'd be kind of cool if it was like next day. You could do a Friday submission for Saturday for Sunday. That would be good. Maybe if that's if you have to, maybe limit it. I maybe say for only 1,000 orders, whatever you're capable of doing in that time frame. 500 each day or something. But yeah, I just think it's a very good way to getting the business out there. I'm kind of excited, as you can tell, with this podcast about it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting with this. Them being the first sort of US grading companies to come over here. Like I said, with the PSA sort of what they've been doing the past couple of years with London, they're sponsored here, they're coming over every now and then. They've been back at this London card show, haven't been at other ones. I've said in the past that I thought they should have bought MGC. Just for the MGC of the hobby. So having them on board as sort of the PSA UK could have helped massively. They've already got hubs. So they would have inherited then the hubs in, I think it's like Hungary, and I swear it's on somewhere else. So you inherit them sort of hubs. Obviously they do coins. So yeah, I don't know. I just think it would have helped them again, and done on-site grading. It shows. But yeah, that's just me, what I think. But yeah, I mean, please let me know. You guys let me know your thoughts on this. Are you always going to be sort of loyal to MGC because of how sort of deep rooted they are in the UK hobby and what they've done for the scene? Are you going to are you more of an Ace person just because of the whole Randolph side? And you've now seen him at shows, and I've met him a couple of times. He's a very nice guy. Seems very into the hobby, which is cool. Are you gonna try AGS grading? Are you with me? You're on board to this? New wave, the technology way of ensuring we're getting the best cars possible. It's intriguing. It's intriguing times. Or are you a get graded person? Or are you always going to be PSA because it's value for the money on a resale? That's where your money is on a resale. It's going to be in PSA. But again, don't forget, it used to be Beckett. Beckett used to be the place to be. So maybe a change will come. All great empires come to an end, as they say. So maybe a change will come, and maybe this is the first step. Don't get me wrong, this is not the first AI company, or company to use AI, should I say, in their grading. But I do think this now could be sort of, if this isn't the best step and the best push forward, then I think it might start that, whether a big company try and buy AGS or whether they go similar and use an AI front. I've seen numerous people talk about, people PSA struggling to have staff because I think they pay something like $17 an hour, and that takes the wage down there something like $35,000 a year. And obviously they're saying that you can't really live in, I think it's LA, if I'm not mistaken. One of the offices, I know got one in New Jersey. But yeah, I think it's saying, it's difficult to live on that wage over there. I think as you said, you can't live on the street in a car box for 35,000. So if you're having a turnover of staff, that are on the sort of assembly line of going through cards, and all of a sudden you have AI and things will make it a lot easier. You just need a couple of guys to, put it through, click a button, encapsulate. You can afford to pay them more because you have less staff members, right? You're having less people do stuff. So you can probably lose a third, maybe 2/3 of your staff. There's a lot more money in the business that you can offer better rates, better pay rates, and hopefully sustain the business a bit longer. But we shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. Other than that, what else is it? Because I think I'll wrap up because that's a long talk on Aegis Grading. It sounds like I'm affiliated up. Did you have an affiliate link? I do not have one myself. I'm not a partner. Maybe something I look into in the future if I like this submission process and the cards, etc. And more like the actual case. If I like the slab, there we go. Then maybe it's something I look into. So look out for that. But at the moment, I'm just unbiased user. I use a website, not use the app properly yet. But yeah, they so far gonna get more excited, intrigued by it all. See how it all pans out with AI grading and the fact that this should be the highest grade of consistency, right? So I'm excited. I'm excited to have it on my doorstep. And as I said, 10-day turnaround is ridiculous. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And no upcharges as well. Yeah, I'm excited. But yeah, other than that, I said when the card show was just on the first 3 days, I'm sure that would have been immense, probably a very tiring, exhausting. There was some of the Americans came over, which I think I'm presuming that a lot of people knew who these people were from consuming their content. I wasn't too familiar. I've watched Rothcards a few times. Never Mojo because of obviously stuff he's been implicated in, and never King of Cards. I never it's come across, but now my stories and Instagram algorithms full of everyone wearing hobbyist hats. I'm sure his content will be pushed on me for the algorithm somewhere online too. Luckily, I don't consume a great deal of content like that, so it doesn't sort of take up too much algorithm. So yeah, but yeah, hobbyist. The hats look fair, pretty decent to be fair. Just sort of cream, I think, with blue hobbyist. Kind of cool, kind of like Gary V style now at the moment with his sort of VeeFriends, sort of creative and all that sort of stuff. Simple, I can't say like Gary Vee's first that sort of stuff. It's just that one I can think at the moment is sort of continue pushing those sort of hats. Although his seems to be like a corduroy or something, some sort of materials. But yeah, another episode done, I'd say. Hope everyone is well. Obviously, last episode of On the Lookout was on Friday, a bit later because of the Friday at London. I was letting people sort of have the day there and push out a bit late. I think I put back an hour, I think 6 or 7. I know London went until 8, but I don't know if everyone's gonna be there or went through some NFL plays. So if you're not seeing it, check that out. So your thoughts. Is he a quarterback you think's a bit sneaky? I mean, I didn't put like Joe Burrow in there, Josh Allen, just because they're sort of higher in people's in the upper echelons. To be honest, they're sort of people have been thereabouts. I see Joey B's into a Super Bowl. Allen's been predicted to a Super Bowl for a couple of years now. So yeah, there'll be another one out Friday. We should hope. But until then, take care. All the best. Peace.